Hi, my name is Richard and I want to talk to you today why I bought this GR4. Now, just for a little bit of context, I'll explain to you who I am. I'm a full-time photographer and studio owner here in Australia. I own this studio. We specialise in female portraiture, okay, and also commercial headshots. I don't normally talk about tech reviews. I've got another channel which is dedicated to the business of photography. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check it out, but be warned, it is just purely about business stuff. First thing worth mentioning is this is not a technical review. I'm not going to get into the tech specs of it. There's enough videos of that in the world. It's more about why I got it, why I wanted a small camera, why when I own a studio with lots of professional gear, why I even wanted a camera like this. And I want to talk to you a little bit about that. Also worth mentioning, I'm very, very new to Ricoh. I only even really became aware in the last couple of months. So obviously this is completely unbiased. I've got no history with them at all. Obviously, I'm not sponsored. I wish I was. That'd be fun if I was sponsored by someone, but I'm not. So for me, it's obviously just more me sharing my thoughts about it and why I got it. So it might be worth telling a little bit about my camera background. I won't harp on it because camera gear is not super exciting to talk about. But again, we have a studio and we run a couple of Canon R5s here and all the usual lighting equipment that you'd expect. We have a big pile of lenses and that's what we do. That's what we do for a living. So I just mentioned that to give you a bit of context. This video is more about my journey trying to find a pocket camera over the years, and I'll tell you a little bit how I eventually landed on the GR4. Some of you might find it interesting, especially those of you who do this for a living and are thinking about getting something like this. It all started back in 2017. I went to this big event with a bunch of friends, and I took along one of my Canon 5Ds at the time with a 24-70 lens. Because it was a special event, I wanted to get some really nice photographs, something better than my phone at the time. But back in 2017, phones weren't that great. They're really good now, obviously. And so I took it along and I had this thing with me for the whole day, like from early in the morning till late at night. And it was just annoying, like it was heavy. I had to be mindful of it. You know, I was scared of it getting stolen because I was in very crowded areas. When I say scared of it being stolen, I mean it's just mindful of it. You know what I mean? Have to keep an eye on it. And after that event, I said, that's it, I'm done. I'm never taking, you know, a big camera to an event like this again, because like I said, you know, I do this for a living. And when I go out, I want a camera just to go with me. So I am not like an enthusiast. You know, I'll take my camera with me and go and design my day around the photography. I'm more the opposite. I'll go and do things and I want to have a camera with me, okay? And that's what started it all. And so I started looking around and one of the first ones I came across was this guy here, which is this little Canon M2, one of the very first mirrorless ones by Canon. Surprisingly good camera, very limited. I actually won an award with a photo off this camera, but it's kind of slow, it's kind of clunky. The image quality is fine. I mean, the image quality on all cameras these days is fine in my opinion. But you know, it's kind of a chunky little guy and it hasn't got many, it's basically got very little controls. It's got a reasonable screen, but it took really good photos and that was fine. So I took that for a while, but I sort of, in the end, I didn't really like it. More time went by and eventually I ended up getting one of those Fuji X100s. I think it was the 4 I got or the 3, can't remember. And I didn't, even though I got that, I didn't really like it that much. I love the photos of it. The photos were beautiful and the JPEGs were gorgeous. But the actual handling of the camera itself, I didn't like the viewfinder, that rangefinder viewfinder very much. And so I ended up selling that. I kind of gave up on the concept of having a small pocketable camera. And then along the way, because we were going overseas a little bit, I ended up buying this, which is a a Fuji X-T30 II. And I got a bunch of other little lenses with this as well. And I took this overseas with me to Europe. We went to Portugal and Spain and we've been to Japan and all over the place with it. And it's just amazing. I'm just still always staggered at the images that come off these guys. The problem kept on coming back to the fact that because of the size of it, I mean, even if I put like on the 35mm equivalent, that 23mm lens, it's still, you can't fit it in your pants pocket. You need a jacket. So when it's hot and you're not wearing a jacket, it means you have to wear it as a strap or a sling or in a bag or something like that. And for me, like I mentioned before, it just takes the fun out of it. And in the end, I found myself just leaving it at home and just using my phone, which kind of defeated the purpose of having it. I still use this. It's a great little camera. I take it to family events and things like that if I do want to take some formal photos rather than taking my big gear. But so then I'd kind of given up on the idea of a small portable camera just in general. And then in recent times, because we've been so busy in the studio, I haven't really been doing any photography at all for fun. And I thought I wouldn't mind getting back into some street photography because before I worked professionally, I quite enjoyed doing street photography. And I started thinking about it. I thought, well, maybe I could get like, you know, a 28mm for this Canon R5, and that would make it quite light, quite small, not so big, and I get all the advantages of having, you know, all the features of a modern professional camera. And so I started looking into lenses, and they had these pancake 28mm, which really appealed to me because I quite like the 28mm focal length. Okay. In fact, the lens that I'm recording this video on, the lens on another one of these is in fact a 28 to 70 f2, which is one of Canon's, I guess, specialized lenses. And I've gotten really quite fond of the 28mm focal length as a result, because I've sort of stopped using 24 to 70s in favor of this 28 to 70, okay? And so I thought, oh, okay, I could probably work with that. And I think what happened then was, because I was starting to look for 28mm lenses on YouTube and on the internet, I started getting presented with videos about this Ricoh with this 28mm lens. I thought, oh, that's interesting. Like I said at the beginning, I wasn't really aware of Ricoh at all. I certainly wasn't aware of these cameras. I don't think I'd ever even seen one. And then, like I said, I started seeing all these videos, and I was unaware that this new release had come out, the GR4 had come out. And it sort of intrigued me, so I decided to go and check it out. So I went down to Brisbane this week. Brisbane's the capital city near where we are. And I went and checked it out, and I was shocked at how good it felt. You know what I mean? Like, and it just felt like a really good thing. Like, it feels to me personally a lot better than, for example, those Fuji X100s. It just feels better. I don't know how else to explain it. I was shocked at how quickly it turns on and off. It's quite remarkable, really. I haven't done huge amounts of photography with it yet, but the photographs I have taken with it and checked out on my computer are extraordinary. Like, it is a really nice little lens. So that's why I decided to get it. Now, the thing that this solves that, you know, all these other ones I mentioned before can't solve is I can, in fact, just put it in my pocket. Okay, now, I live in a place called Queensland, Australia, and it is hot here 10 months of the year. So you don't wear jumpers, jackets, or anything like that. And like I said at the beginning, I wanted something I could just slip into my pants pocket and carry around with me, and it would be just something that I take with me when I go and do stuff. I wanted to be simple, and I wanted something better than my phone, and this fits the bill perfectly. It's been really good so far. I haven't taken a lot of photos with it. If you are interested in me doing a review on it, I'm more than happy to do it in, you know, a month's time or a couple of months' time, when I'm actually slightly more qualified to talk about it. But so far, so good. To me, it's a fabulous little camera. I'll talk about some of the other things I like about it other than just the pocketability. Like, the lens is beautiful. I like the colors out of it straight away. I haven't had a good chance to play around with them yet, but excuse me, on the default JPEG setting, it's really nice. I like the dials. The fact you've got dials for everything, so I can set the dials for the exposure. I like how quickly it loads up, like I think I said before. I really like the leaf shutter. I think that's pretty cool. And I just can't believe they managed to squeeze IBIS in this little package as well. That's pretty incredible. So I'm looking forward to learning more about it and getting into it more and getting involved with it more. One of the things I do appreciate about something like this, and something I've grown to appreciate the longer I've been in photography, and I guess the older I've gotten as well, is things that do one thing really well. I heard someone give an analogy with this little guy that's kind of like a paring knife. You know, it's a knife that does one thing really well, or to use another analogy, it's like a, you know, it's like a 50mm. You know what I mean? That this 50mm 1.2, when you put it to 1.2, for example, does one thing and does it really well. And I use this every day. Finally, is it worth it? I don't know. I mean, well, as a wise man once said, things are only worth what people are prepared to pay for it. I was prepared to pay for it, so it's worth it to me. Lots of other people seem prepared to pay for it, so it's obviously worth it to them. When I was, you know, learning a bit more about this, and since I've had it, I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, and I read some of the comments. It seems like every second comment is that they comment that it's overpriced. I'm not sure. I mean, like I said, when I was shopping around for a lens for this, that was sort of, you know, the 500 mark just for the lens. You know what I mean, for a 28mm 2.8 lens. And this has got that same focal length lens in here, and it's probably going to be considerably nicer than the cheaper pancake lens that would go on the Canon. So there's that. And then you've got everything else that goes with it. And being a specialized tool, I can't comment whether it's worth it or not. But, you know, everything's gotten dearer now. I've noticed that. Like, just everything's gotten expensive. You know, nothing's cheap anymore. Can you get more for your money? Definitely. I mean, if you go and buy like some sort of mirrorless kit with a couple of lenses, you'll get infinitely more interesting focal length selection and do more stuff. But like I said, for me, it solves a problem. I think I'm going to get a lot of value out of it because I can carry it around with me all the time. It's kind of what I've been looking for a long time, to be honest with you. I know straight away with equipment these days whether I'm going to like it or not, and I do like this straight away. And I've been carrying it around. I walked the dog a couple of times. I took it with me, just practicing getting it in and out of my pocket and firing it up and shooting really quickly, trying a snap focus feature and all that sort of stuff, and it's been fantastic so far. Would I recommend you get it? Like, I'm not qualified to say that yet, but I would hazard a guess that unless you're aware of what this thing does and what it's for, it's probably not worth it, I wouldn't think. You would need to have a specific requirement or be really into street photography, or someone like me, you know, that does this for a living and wants a small pocketable camera to take around with them and get professional results with it. So there you go, that's my thoughts on it. I didn't give this video a lot of thought. I just thought some people might be interested in it. So there's going to be a lot of videos on the GR4 at the moment. If you would like me to do a proper review in a couple of months' time after I've taken a couple of thousand photos, I guess I can do that if you're interested. But anyway, if you did like it, I'd love to hear your comments on it, whether you think I'm right, whether you think I'm wrong, I don't really care. But I'd love to hear your comments nonetheless, it'd be interesting. But thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again in the not too distant future. Thank you.